Hey, what's up, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So you guys seem to really like the acid at a family dinner story time I told recently, and I was thinking about that video, and I have another story time that's kind of similar to that one, but I think it's a little bit crazier in my opinion, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you do enjoy this, leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. And let's just jump right into this. So this story time takes place about a year back. I was hanging out in my hometown with a friend of mine. We were just hanging out down by the pier skateboarding, and my friend texted one of his friends to come meet us and skate with us, and I had never met that person before. And he told me, he's like, nah man, he's chill, he's a really funny guy, you'll like him. So like 15 minutes later, this guy skates up to the park to meet us, and I say, what's up man, my name's Austin. He introduces himself, let's just call him Jake. Now Jake was a pretty cool dude, he was skating with us, we were all having fun, it was a good night. But right as we started skateboarding back towards the car, Jake turns around while skateboarding, and he looks at me and my friend while we're skateboarding. And he's like, guys, random question, but does anyone want to take acid tonight? And I started laughing because it was so random. And I was just like, nah, man, I don't want to. I'm sorry. I'm not really into it. And then he looks at my friend, and my friend's like, nah, man, like I got to drive tonight. I got a bunch of stuff to do tonight. Like I can't. And Jake's just like, yeah, man, all good. You guys are fine. If you guys don't mind, though, I'm going to take some. Now, when he said this, I thought he meant like when we get back to the car or something, or like later on. But he just stops skateboarding right next to this bench, and he sits down on the bench, and he starts pulling out a pack of gum, and he had a tab of acid in the pack of gum. And he starts opening the pack of gum, and I realize behind him, there's a police officer on a bike, not too far behind him, and the police officer was just riding down the pier telling people, like, hey, the park's closed now, you guys gotta go, don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here, because the park closed at 10 o'clock, and it must have just hit 10 at this time. So I tell my friend, I'm like, yo, they're closing the park up. Like, that police officer's probably going to come over here. You want to wait till we get in the car? And he's like, nah, man, it's good. I'll just do this quick. And right as he takes the tab out, the police officer comes up behind us. And he's like, hey, guys, don't mean to be that guy, but you guys got to go. We're closing up the park. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. And then Jake's like, yeah, officer, no problem. And he takes the tab on his finger and just puts it on his tongue. And it didn't look like a normal stick of chewing gum. Like, it obviously looked different. And the officer saw that and was just like, is that chewing gum? And Jake just goes, I think so. Why? And the officer goes, you think so? You're not sure? Because that really didn't look like a stick of chewing gum. And Jake just kind of laughed, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know. And the officer just goes, look, guys, I don't got time for games. I got to get everyone else out of here because we're closing. Just please be safe, and you better not be driving. And he points at Jake. And in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? And he just turns around on his bike and goes back down the pier and starts telling people that the park's closed. And Jake just like has the biggest face of relief. And I'm like, Jake, you are so lucky. It's not even funny. And he just smiles. He goes, I know, right? And he stands up and he turns around and waves at the officer biking away and yells, thank you, officer. Have a great night. And he gets on his skateboard and we all start skateboarding towards the car. And we get to the car. We get in the car. My friend dropped off Jake first and then he took me home. And the rest of that night, pretty much nothing happened. My friend just went home and we were all at our own houses. And 2 days later, I saw Jake, and I was like, hey, Jake, how was the rest of that night? He was like, it was great, man. Had a great time. Just kind of hung out and played Skate 3. I was like, oh, good to hear, man. Glad you had fun. And yeah, that's honestly pretty much the end of the story time, but I just thought it was really, really funny and kind of crazy. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Moral of the story is, don't be Jake. Don't be anything like Jake. Just don't follow in Jake's footsteps in this story time, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.